Good morning, or should I say GM? Today we
Whatever you
have.
want.
No, I was speaking with the camera.
You can repeat it if you want. It's fine.
Yes.
Let's redo this.
Yeah. Good morning, or should I say GM? Today we have with us Frane, also known as Venice, and he's the community lead for Neon Labs. And Venice, welcome to that community podcast. How are you today?
Yeah, happy to be here, dude. Destroyed today. This is literally last thing I'm doing today after all the work and yeah, good otherwise.
So tell us something about Neon Labs, what Neon Labs does. I mean, people do know, Neon Labs is a big brand out there, but just for the people who don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, we are. I wouldn't say we are big yet. I think we are getting there, and more people are getting to know us. But one of the things we weren't putting too much effort in my opinion at least, is marketing. Not in a way, that we try to spend massive amount of money just so people hear about us. We were mostly focused on just building the product properly. As most people who do know Neon, mainnet launch got delayed quite a few times, but it was always for the best of a product as a whole. So yeah, we were focused on building the product properly, on building the community properly and organically, which means slowly but properly again. Yeah, Neon is essentially a smart contract on Solana that's emulating EVM, meaning you as a developer or founder, whatever, of Ethereum dApp or any EVM compatible dApp, we are allowing you to deploy to Solana basically without code changes. There is a thing called Neon Proxy that it's not really compiling Ethereum Solidity or Viper bytecode to BPF, but it's something similar to it, right? You as Ethereum developer, you don't see any difference when you are deploying to Neon or to Ethereum or whatever is similar IBM compatible. You're just deploying in your native UI, but your dApp actually gets deployed to Solana, meaning it gets access to a way higher transaction speed and low transaction costs. Plus, the main thing, you as an owner of that dApp, is you're getting access to a whole new market. You're getting access to Solana liquidity, and that's something that we should all be kind of looking for. It's multi-chain, it's expanding, and it just makes sense. Where we are currently is we are never closer to actual proper mainnet launch, which is happening on 12th of December. We will be launching together with quite a few Ethereum blue chip partners. So more on that when it actually happens. After that, we are starting officially with grants, with ambassador program, a lot of other exciting stuff coming. So we are definitely not slowing down after it. I would say that real work begins actually with that. So that's shortly about Neon and our state at the moment.
So you're the community lead at Neon Labs. Let's talk about community, but before we jump into it, can you give us some information about your background? So, like before you got into Web3, what did you do and how did you discover Web3?
Sure. So it's a weird story. First of all, before Web3, I had zero connections with it. I had zero connections with community management as well. Well, some, but let's go over there. Um, yeah, no, I finished school that's basically graphical design, and I would say decent at it. In that school, I was, I don't know, a bit above average regarding skills and talent, but I was never that interested in it. And I decided I went 1 year to economy university. I dropped out after a year, even though I like finished all exams and everything, because I just didn't find it interesting enough. And I started doing jobs that are like physical. It wasn't any cool, nice, neat office job. It was whatever, random jobs. One was literally in the factory, and it was It was a bit better than average creation salary, but but that wasn't something that really you enjoy doing. And yeah, after I left that job, I told to myself that it's time to find something I really like,
Right.
and I had no idea what that is. And then I spent months, like 2 months, of just getting the huge list. I had, I don't know, probably more than 200 ideas on paper what I want to try doing. And it wasn't, your everyday average jobs. It wasn't like, I don't know, get employed in a market. That wasn't on my list. It was start business in this way or start business in that way. It was always something that will essentially allow me to get closer to that thing that everyone wants, which is basically financial freedom, obviously. But more importantly, it's something that you'll enjoy doing. Then, yeah, after a few months of that, I would say I grew a lot. Even though technically I didn't do anything, any moves, I didn't start anything, but I grew a lot because it kind of opened up my perspectives, and you start looking at things differently. A friend introduced me to crypto in, was it early June, I believe, or even late May, something like that. Um, and he just told me, yeah, don't ask a lot, but this is something you want to get in as soon as possible. There is a bunch of opportunities. It's really new. It's super, it's growing super quickly, and you just have to get in. The sooner, the better. And he just thing is he started building immediately his own stuff, and obviously he cannot put me inside, even though we are friends. I'm of no use to him, I don't have experience in anything. So he just gave me materials. He was like, okay, there's Solana. There is much more than Solana, but I'm focusing on Solana exclusively. You might want to get in the same ecosystem so we can potentially do some stuff together, whatever. So I spent next 2 months of, swear to God, here. It was just going through Solana documentation and all the apps and infrastructure providers on Solana, their documentation and their white papers, for about 16 hours per day for 2 months. It was 16 hours of just grinding that, literally zero life without it. Was that, maybe 5 hours of sleep and few hours of me trying to actually relax, and do whatever, watch a movie or something. But it became addiction at some point. Obviously, I mean, if you're doing it for 16 hours, that cannot be just you pushing yourself. That has to be something inside you that pulls you towards it. It was actually interesting, and I really enjoyed that process, even though it sounds, ridiculous now, and it sounds like way too much, which it was. Um, it was really interesting, and it was literally just going through white paper, and then it's new for you, and ecosystem is new. You have no idea what a lot of stuff means. Then you Google one thing, then when you're learning about that thing, you start Googling 15 other things just to learn that thing. Then you are reverse engineering all the way back to the previous page. And I think Ave's white paper took me, I think one page of Ave's white paper took me about 2 hours that way. So I was, really taking my time with it, but make sure I actually learn. Uh, by the way, just real quickly, regarding community management as its own thing, the only experience I had with it was, before the crypto thing. When I was trying few things, I actually played one online video game, and I was really good at it. I started coaching people there for money. They were literally paying for that. That was being streamed, and that's where I started interacting with the Discord in a more professional way, not just to call a friend. But I
Right.
actually had my own server there with really small community. It was maybe 100 people there, but I already started, getting some knowledge how stuff works, how you should set stuff up. And yeah, and I applied from there. Neon was literally my first job in Web3 I applied ever. I never applied to a job after it or before it. That was it. But I arrived at the interview literally with 2 sheets of paper prepared of what I would change. Right. I went to their Discord. I checked everything. I had, I did research. I went to different projects, check their discourse, how they are working, and see what I like, what I don't like. I kind of compiled all of that into something that makes sense in my books. And yeah, just arrived at the interview, went basically presented all changes. It wasn't even normal interview in a way that you're being asked questions and you're answering. It was me describing kind of my vision, what I think can be done there. And the day after, they just contacted me and asked, "Can I start Monday?" And the interview happened on Friday. So yeah, I settled my mind in 2 days. I was like, okay, this is actually happening. I had no idea what I'm getting into. It was super scary. It was super new, but yeah, I wiggled my way through it after and after everything, and definitely, couldn't be happier now.
That is quite a journey, and I love that you put so much work. And I don't think without putting in so many hours and just grinding and grinding, without that you would be here right now, right? So when it comes to community, I have been on Discord for quite a long time, and I have seen many Discord servers, big and small, right? Many crypto projects. Neon is, if not the best, one of the best Discord server as a community platform it is that I've seen. And one thing I've noticed is you like to keep your community as small as possible when it comes to Discord server. Like, there's not like 100 channels, or, there's not that just clutter. Like, it's fairly simple. It's plain. Why is that?
Yeah, the it's more reasons kind of. First of all, if you're going for a lot of channels, you don't need. One thing is just pure aesthetic. In my opinion, it looks like too much. If you join as a new user and you have no idea where stuff is, and then you see 50 channels, where do I begin? What do I do here? Uh, it's scary. It's similar to, I don't know, if you arrive at Village for the first time in your life, or you arrive at New York, right? New York is scary. You have no idea what's where. In the Village, everything is small, everything, you feel safe. It's weirdly similar feeling. It's similar feeling, and it's just neater. Then people see what they have offered. Okay, I start here, this makes sense. There is no like 10,000 channels for international channels, and then people will have to
Right.
search for them. Where do I speak? You have general chat. uh, you join that, you say hi. Community is already now built up in a way where people are super nice, and core of community couldn't be better. People get to know you. Again, there's zero toxicity. It's just, everything is super genuine and nice. You start there. If you have any questions, you can ask them wherever, ideally in general, but even if you do it somewhere else, people will point you, okay, normally you should ask this in general, but yeah, sure, you can do this here, you can do this here, you can pick a role there if you are interested in this or that. It's just, in my opinion, the main thing is when you arrive at server for the first time, that you feel like it's something familiar, that you feel at home, and not like, holy moly, what do I do here? That's the main point of it.
That is so true. That is so true. So, was it something that you thought of, or is it something that came to you naturally, like, just keep the server small?
Yeah, I wasn't taught. I think anything in a way that someone contacted me and said in a way like, "Hey, you can do this, and you should do this." Not at least that I can think of. Maybe it happened again. I've been now in this for a while, and if it happened, I got no idea. I don't think so. So I think it was just experience. Of going. I really did a lot of research. I joined a lot of big famous servers, um, and I tried to find something that's really organic, genuine, whatever, and learn from those. And then if I like one thing from one server and I don't like other stuff, I'll just take that one thing and try to get it and maybe turn it into my own, with some like good twist. If I see a lot of servers doing something and I see it's not working, then even if I'll naturally think about that thing, I'll just exclude it. So it was just, I think, learning from experience. It was joining a lot of other servers, seeing what works for them, what doesn't, and then combining all of it and try to like unite everything and build together from there.
Yeah, so it's a process. You keep trying and you keep what's working and you don't keep what's not working. Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. That's the process. Now let's come to roles. And I've been in your server for a long time now. I think it's been a year or something, around a year. And I have noticed that you used to have competitions or contests and used to give out NFTs and roles to the people who won in those events or contests.
Yeah.
At one point, there was accumulation of those said roles. Like there were like too many people with those roles. And I don't know, I can't go into detail because I don't know, but you did something there, like you kind of, reinvented that process, right? Or like you
Yeah.
stopped those roles or, you started something out of it. Can you put some light on it?
Yeah. Thing is, when we've been doing it for a while, and as you said, there was a thing we called Neon Champion role. And what it did was not much. It was just aesthetical. It would make your name golden. You appear different. People can see that you won some contest, whatever. But at one point, we started getting like 100 of people with those roles, and what it did is it started decreasing the value of the role.
You're
And then what we naturally started thinking about was how to give that role actual value and how to make whole process kind of more interesting. And then we combine it in a way that roles are temporary, meaning that they last only for 1 month. But if you do get that role, what it does is it serves as a ticket and allows you to participate to something called champion contest at the end of the month, where only people who won smaller contests that same month can participate in. And those champion contests have much cooler rewards, and it's something you want to grind for to ensure your spot at that. Plus, you always get tracked, even though technically you are losing the role at the end of the month. You're always your wins are getting tracked in special channel we called Hall of Fame, and your wins are being calculated there. And then you're getting certain other benefits after you collect, let's say, 5 wins, or if you collect 10 wins, no one yet got the 10. But yeah, it was just something to kind of gamify the role, to give more sense to it and to give more value to it. Because if you just keep adding those roles, it decreases in value. And if you make them limited, and you add some benefits to actually even temporarily holding that role, then it just makes sense. So that's what we did. We spent quite a few time on it. uh Not just us as community managers, it's also our community leaders. So I know you'll probably ask me a question about it, so I can get more into it after. But yeah, we worked together with community to make that process as good as possible.
Speaking of which, is it easy for people to follow that process? Because when you reinvented this whole system, what were people thinking about it? I'm not talking about, community leaders, but someone who was, just new into your community, because it seems like you have to, be there at the community and participate in this. And so it's like going into quarterfinal, semifinal, and finals,
Mm-hmm.
to get that ultimate prize. What was the initial community reaction like?
Yeah, we've been thinking quite a while, to be honest, how they will react, because that's always something that's in your head when you're trying new stuff, and you have to be trying new stuff. And I love trying new stuff, and that's what kind of makes all of this really exciting to me, is because it's really new area, Even though community management technically existed, yes, without crypto, but not in this way. This is something unique, something different. And you can literally do stuff that no one else did before. That's still possible. We are not
True.
that long in a game that it's possible. So it's always exciting to me to try new stuff. In some way, it's, well, scary, not really, but a bit, right? You don't know how they will react. Then you're trying to calculate the downsides. What if people hate it in this way? But I think I got good enough at this that I won't do something people will hate. I can do something that won't do as well, maybe. I can take that risk. But that's I think the worst that can happen, right? No one will hate me for it. It just maybe won't work as well, and then we'll do something else next time. So yeah, we calculated all options there. We did it, and I have to say it went pretty well. Like, yeah, some people probably who had the roles at the time, which is,
Right.
was a lot of them, okay, I lost my role, why, whatever. And then you just explain the process, you explain the logic, plus all of that was already explained in the initial announcement. Um, so yeah, everyone got the point. Some after, some convincing, some immediately, but it went pretty well, I have to say. It wasn't that damaging at all. It was completely fine.
That's great. Like you came and you kept experimenting and you found a solution. That is what community, being a community lead or community building is about.
Yep.
Do you have any questions for me?
Mm, I don't know what I mean. It's kind of personal, but what you're doing currently? What are you focusing on? I know you from Canada days, but where are you now exactly?
So after Kana, kind of started uh, contributing in Developer DAO. It's a DAO made for developers, and they are committed to education and impact on the new world. So I was contributing there as you know in the community guild and as their marketing and business partnership lead. After that, like I'm still doing that, but I thought that I should, try to give value to others who are just starting out in the Web3 space and who want or who aren't interested in community management. So I started out my YouTube channel called That Community Guy, where I'll talk about community, Web3 community, and I'll talk with community leads and managers like you on a weekly basis. Get to know their experiences, where they come from, and what is their process when it comes to building community. Try to explore all that and make videos about community tools, like, what tools can be used to building communities in Web3 and what are my favorite communities, on that kind of thing. So that is, in the process right now.
Okay, so it's interesting. Do you think you like it more like let's say this bigger picture thing, and where you potentially could create maybe bigger impact, or do you think you would rather settle kind of down and commit fully to a project you like as a community manager, community lead, whatever?
I've okay, so it kinds of makes answer to that because even if I start working full time, at a small or big project, I would still continue doing this, the bigger picture because I'm not motivated by money or, other factors when it comes to creating content for others. I just want to provide value to others because this is something that I faced when I was new in the Web3 space, and that is what I'm trying to solve. So, um, the money part, my job is taking care of that if I have one in the future, but this is what, providing value to people, that is something I plan to do for a very long, long time.
Yeah, plus you can the more of this you do, you don't have to prepare, I guess, as much. Maybe already you don't have to prepare as much, and it's kind of like natural to you, which is great. And obviously it gets easier with time, meaning you can just do it, whenever. If it would become too chaotic with your work, you can push it to, let's say, Saturdays, and just run it on Saturday easily, and that's it. Like if you're doing one per week, it's
Yeah,
not that big of a deal, probably.
yep. Thank you for that question. I really had to look myself, look inside myself for that. So, let's jump to questions that I have. These are the general questions that I ask every guest on my podcast. So, my first question is, what does your everyday, routine look like as a community lead for Neon Labs?
Do I stick just to business part, or do I stick to everything?
Your choice. Like, just a routine, like when you wake up and How is your day as a community lead? What do you do?
Well, yeah, a routine that I'm trying to do currently, but it's not working perfectly at the moment is getting up at 6 and going for a run. That's not happening as frequently as I wanted to for various reasons.
That's
But
happening for me as well because I'm
yeah,
missing a lot of gym time every day.
yeah,
It's cold. I don't want to go outside in cold.
yeah. No, it makes sense. But yeah, if ideally when I manage to do it that way, I feel the best, I would say. So yeah, it would be getting up at 6, doing that. Uh, you shower after it, obviously, and then it's coffee time. Prepare that. Check everything. First thing, obviously, when I sit on PC and I boot the PC up, is just saying hi to the community. Is just natural, right? But after that, now more and more I have stuff that I have to do outside of Discord, since my responsibilities and everything went up a lot over the last 2 months. Uh, there is a lot of preparation and stuff besides just, being on Discord and just trying to focus solely on that. So yeah, I cover what I have from there. Then we daily have one super short marketing sync up at 7:45 a.m. my time. At 8 we have longer daily sync up where we have kind of have full team on, where we have to sync all departments together and kind of decide what we are doing with the day, what we covered yesterday, what's the bigger picture, what we have to focus on the most, whatever. After that, those are two meetings that are daily every day except weekend. And then after it, I have always now for again last 2 months a bunch of meetings on a biz dev side. It goes up to 10 meetings per day usually. And yeah, then it's combination and balancing of that together with everything we are doing with the community, which is always my natural thing. I don't even consider that work anymore. When someone asks me a question, it can be personal, it can be business, it can be about Neon, doesn't matter. I'm always trying to be responsive and respond as quick as I can. Uh, have fun with people as well. I'm not never trying to keep it super serious. If someone will join and ask something really technical or something, I'll give you the most professional answer I can always. But with existing community members and especially those that are there, I have to say for the community, not for the project, I'll keep it super casual. We'll have fun, we'll laugh, and I love that part. So that's combined with all the business meetings and activities. And obviously, on a side, you have to always plan ahead for community, regarding events, regarding plans for next month, regarding bigger picture, regarding improving server in this way or that way, trying new things, maybe hiring someone if you're growing too quickly. There's a lot, but yeah, my day with me actually sitting on my PC working ends usually at 5 or 6 p.m. After what, if it's like normal day and I can actually get off my PC, I'll try to spend some time with girlfriend. I'll try to actually live life a bit. But what I cannot ever do is shutting my mobile phone off or something. I'll always have, notifications on for mentions on Discord, meaning if I ever get pinged about, whatever, I'll always check it. If I'm awake, if it's 2 a.m., and I often am, I'll always check it. And depending, now I'm getting kind of more normal in that regard. If someone pinged me, obviously for a joke, because you see message on phone, if it's just for a joke and I see it's nothing serious and I'm trying to spend time with girlfriend, let's say outside or something, touch the grass, as you would say in crypto, no, I won't open it. But if I see it's just a ping and I don't know what is it about, or if I see it's actual question that requires answer, if it's possible in any way, I'll do it immediately. I'll resolve that, and then I'm moving on with my life after it. So that's a habit that's probably not the healthiest, but it's just what I'm used to after, I've been with Neon for first few months completely alone, and it was community grew to decent number with just me being there. And I'm still not used to that. I have help with two good colleagues and friends now, and yeah, I'm getting used to it at this point already still. But yeah, that's kind of it. So I end up in bed usually falling asleep around 2 a.m. I would say. So I sleep about 4 hours per day, and I do longer sessions on weekend.
So Neon is a well-run, oiled machine. And guys, if you're a community lead or a manager, uh, Venice, I can't remember his name. Frane,
Frane.
yeah,
Yeah.
Frane. Frane is an example of how to be, a healthy community manager. Because I've seen a lot of people in this space who are like, if you're a community manager, you have to be, there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is not true. Guys, take care of your health. Okay. If
Yep.
you're healthy, your community is healthy. So, um,
And
that's
get reinforcements. I would say it's important. If your team has resources, get ideally 3 community managers in different time zones, have them cover 8 hours per day. And then if they want to cover more because they become engaged with the community and they really like it, let them. But make it obligatory to do 8 hours, because I do agree it's healthy. And I think doing long term what I did for first few months would have probably given me like I don't know, my brain would have stopped, I think, at some point. I'm not even joking with this, by the way. This is that serious. I was
yeah.
that invested for like just being all the time there, and it's definitely not the healthiest thing.
I'm just glad you came out through that, and now you have two community managers under you. So I will come to that. I wanted to talk to you about your recent hire that you hired from the community. Before that, I wanted to ask you said marketing meeting. So at Neon Labs, does community come under marketing or are they two separate teams?
Yeah, community managers are part of marketing department as well, meaning every meeting regarding marketing, we are participating as well. We are giving our own take to something. We are affecting changes. We are affecting decisions. And yeah, it's three of us. It's our marketing lead, who is obviously solely focused on marketing. So that's four of us. You have social media manager taking care of Twitter and AMAs and stuff. That's five of us. You have a girl from who is our event planner. She is there as sixth, and then temporarily, depending on a need, we have our own designer jumping in and out regarding when we have to cover a certain design of something. He's part of that as well. So extended version, it's 7 people.
Right, right. So it's a pretty big team when it comes to community and not just one community lead or manager doing everything.
Yeah.
That is a lot of, organizations in the Web3 space or startups who are, just starting get that wrong because they think only one guy is, responsible or one girl is responsible for social media and community growth. No, guys, it's a team process and it takes time. Let's move to your recent hire. You hired from your community. I think you hired Elijah as your third community manager,
Yeah.
and he has been a part of Neon Labs for quite some time. I know Elijah because I'm a part of Neon Labs, community, and I know quite a few people there. So, tell us something about that. Why did you decide to hire from community instead of, just posting a requirement on your career page?
Yeah, it's one thing that when someone sends you a really good CV and then you'll go over it and then you can see experience and stuff, and all of that's cool. And obviously you'll value some people based on CV more, some less. But when you work in the community and then I don't know, you are tracking people, maybe on purpose, maybe subconsciously sometimes, but you're tracking everything that's happening. That's your job, and you start recognizing certain values in people that are not something that you would maybe initially connect to a quality of a good community manager. So with Telaya, for example, it may look risky from someone who looks on a side, because technically I couldn't put on paper anything that says, okay, this guy showed me, really good qualities of a community manager. Not really. What he shown was he was super active. One thing that I judge people hard by is type of humor, which he was getting all the jokes, he was making really good ones, and it may sound silly, but I do rank people based on that a lot. It's connected to intelligence really closely, in my opinion. uh all the contests and stuff we've been doing, he's been crushing everyone in every single contest. It showed that he's like well versed in a lot of areas, that he's like really sharp thinker, right? When something required fast thinking and fast answers, he was like, he's better than me probably in that regard as well. He's like really really good at stuff like that. And then obviously, of course, now and then he came with some proposals that I liked and stuff. Okay, we could try this, maybe this contest, whatever. He was showing will, and he never asked for anything in return. That's another really important thing. If someone does something for you, for your project, whatever, for a month, and then they come up, hey, I did this and that, can I have this role or something? No, no, you can't. But if you'll put your head down and you'll do work, because whatever reason, maybe because you want to grind for that role, maybe because you just like the project, you like the community, whatever. If you are just humble, being humble is really important and good quality in my books. And
Okay.
when someone is like that, it also gives you someone who is potentially a grinder, which is the most important thing in crypto. It's not even how capable you are, it's how hard you are willing to go, how far you're wanting to go, how much you're willing to sacrifice to get what you want. And for Elijah, as you say, normally you would say it Ilya, since he's Russian.
Yeah.
Um, I knew, how much he was doing besides community regarding development as well. He's been learning Rust, and I would like to say, helping him a bit with it. I gave him some resources, some tips where I could have, just because I'm connected. And it just started making sense in my head, right? Because we've been internally discussing that we potentially will need another guy to help supporting everything. And most of our community was from Russia or Ukraine. And then naturally, I started thinking, if we are opening, it was about, I think, 30% at the time. So naturally, you start thinking, okay, if we are going to try to add international channel, which I normally don't like, but we had such a big demand for this. And I was like, why not actually employ someone who speaks Russian, who can cover that part? Plus, he proven himself to be really good in a lot of other departments, meaning you are not getting just someone who is covering the international channel. You are getting someone who is covering much more, and who could bring way more value to whole system. Plus, he's interested in development, and he's interested in it like a lot. Meaning, he starts working for you. He's learning development still on the side because it's his passion. Meaning, he will get into that role of community manager of Neon, which is again really highly technical product, and you have to know the technology besides Neon. You have to understand how it works, and you have to be able to explain it to someone who doesn't. It's a huge plus for him again, right? It's someone who will cover one international chat, who you can see is capable, full of ideas, and good with people, and who is interested in development. And for me, that was enough. And it was just, again, knowing people. I got to know him for months now. I just proposed it to our CEO and COO, and I was like, I'm willing to vouch for this guy that he will do good. And they just trusted my judgment. They were like, okay, get us an interview. We believe you. Uh, they interviewed him once. Our CEO loved him immediately. He was like, yeah, I'm definitely for. If you are sure you want to hire, we are going for it. And that's it. It happened fairly quickly. I think it took us like 1 or 2 weeks to literally from discussing him to actually employing him. And I can add to all of this is that this, in my opinion, is the biggest value you can offer to your community. It's not ambassador program. It's not native tokens, a few $100 worth, whatever what most people are grinding for. No, you shouldn't be grinding for that. You should be grinding for this, and this is what it's not stopping just with him. If I see someone being insanely good designer in our community, not no one happier in the world if I can employ that person. And I'm trying to do the same thing always. It's not just for Neon, especially now on a business side. I have more contacts. If I know anyone searching for community manager, for moderator, for whatever, and if I see someone with good qualities in my community, I'll definitely try to get them on an interview, and I'll say, guys, on other side, hey, I really think this guy's good, and they are immediately interviewing him in a way like he's not nobody, he's someone I recommended. But I'll recommend only someone I truly believe will do good, obviously.
So it's like give and you get the next value of what you're giving. And it is certain that through your actions, you're being quite philanthropic, helping people get jobs or, get their goals in Web3 space. And that is what Web3 is about, giving value to people. Now, if you guys don't know, I got my first Web3 job as a community manager through Frane here, and he helped me out really, really, when I was really down in my life, and he helped me out there. Thank you for that, first of all. And coming back to the point, there I was handling this community, and this person, let's name them Tom. They came to my community. They were there, quite showing up every day for a week, helping people out, right? And just doing stuff, even if I did not ask them. And everything was going good, and I was quite impressed. But one day they just come up, "Hey, I've been in your community for a while. It's been a week. Can I have, the moderator position?" And I'm like, "No." So don't be like Tom. Be like Elia.
Exactly.
That's my message. Let's move on to the next question now. Let's talk about pay. You've been in the space for a while. What
Mhm.
should a community manager who's just starting out expect?
It really, I would say, varies. It varies on a lot of factors. One is the size of a project. One is the size of a team you are getting employed in. If you are starting as someone who is alone, you should obviously know what you're doing and you should expect more than if you are in a team of you doing the same thing. Another factor is market when you are getting job. In a lot of projects, you are getting paid in native tokens, and then obviously, if you are in bull or bear, it will depend on how much they will offer. It will depend on how active their community is, if they are just starting. But I would say it goes from one to $5,000 a month. I think that's somewhere there. You shouldn't ever start with the five, even though people from USA will probably argue against that because they have way higher expenses in USA than you have in Europe, for example, or I don't know, Africa, I guess. But yeah, I think average goes there as a beginner, maybe 1,000, and then you're getting better and better up to five, maybe a bit more, maybe six. I'm not sure. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I've seen pay ranges. I've been on a few job portals myself. I think it's somewhere from, I think, 45. I'm talking about annual figures, 45. And I've seen it go as high as 280 annually, bro.
Okay. As
They
community
ask,
manager.
so community, social media, it's a whole lot of things on the higher
Yeah.
side. So it's a whole lot of responsibility, and you're in a position of a director, or it's a very important position where you have to build from the groundwork and to the top. So it's a good paying industry, and if you have the skills, I think you can certainly go for it, or you can start at the bottom. You can certainly, grow from there.
And it's a really cool though, in my opinion, to start actually from the bottom and go through the whole process and experience that, because that's one time experience, right? You won't have that experience ever again in your life. You're going through that phase once, and then you when you see what you achieved, let's say in a year, and then you look from that from like perspective of someone else, and you probably, if you actually achieved more in a year than most people do in 5 or 10, it's super cool feeling, when you see how much you grew, how you are looking at a lot of situations differently and more maturely than you did 1 year ago. And you are improving in so many aspects. It's not just community management, is you growing as a person and everything, because you're going through a lot of different experiences. I would like advise that to anyone, I think it's really, really cool feeling.
Talking about experiences, have you experienced failure? You know, it can be a short-term failure or a long-term while building a community.
Uh,
Like anything, like you've learned anything from that experiences and that you have taken it forward.
I can't say it was anything major on my side that I can really say, okay, I did something that went horribly wrong. So that in a way that I learned from my mistakes, I don't know, does this sound egoistic, but I don't think so. I think I learned to improve everything I was doing. So something was, let's say, working okay, or was just like meh, whatever. I learned to make it work better, but it wasn't that it just didn't work at all. I didn't really experience that, not with Neon at least so far. Um, One thing that happened, I mean, not sure if there is a point going into details, but one thing that did happen was the Discord hack of account of my colleague. Uh, so yeah, you are putting naturally that a bit on yourself always, but you can't really, because if I think about it, I couldn't do anything.
Right.
I reacted as soon as I could have, and I think damage was prevented, and it could have been way, way, way worse than it was. So I'm happy with how it played out and how I reacted in a situation. But yeah, that's in my opinion, I think that was the only really dark side or bad thing that happened that I went through. Another small thing was back in November last year, so like a year ago, with some internal miscommunication within the team, where it was announced airdrop on our side that wasn't supposed to be happening or not in that form like how it was announced. And then I spent 2 days, literally 2 days, 48 hours without sleep. I was the only community manager back then. 48 hours just being there and doing damage control, just explaining to everyone, because we took that announcement down quickly, but it didn't matter. And that's insane how whole server activates. No matter how many people you got, if they're not bots, bunch of them won't say a single thing. It's in every community. It's Neon as well. Even though I think we are really solid and way better, again bragging a bit, but I think it's true, way better than most crypto communities and more genuine and organic. You still have a bunch of people who are there just for token. I know that, everyone knows that. The moment that was announced, whole server came to life. It was just high, high, high spam. Everyone wants to show that they are there. And then we took the announcement down fairly quickly. But yeah, I took about 2 days just answering, because I didn't want to leave, any question kind of unanswered. And I didn't have what I have now, which is insanely good core community of like 30, 40 people who are there to help out. I didn't have that. So it was just a bunch of strangers around me. And I was just trying, to keep everyone informed and stuff. And yeah, that was really special, difficult period. But again, it wasn't something that I did something wrong and I learned something from it. It wasn't on my side at all. So, not really to answer back to your question. Uh, I don't think we tried something that really went wrong and that we learned from it. I don't think so.
Okay, okay, fine. So we are at the end of our podcast. I'll have just two more questions for you. As a community manager, when you look at Web3 space and other communities, is there something or some part of it that you don't approve of or don't like? It can be anything, in organic community or, yeah, it can be anything.
That I don't like when people are doing.
Yeah, in the community space in Web3.
Um, oh, you mean in a way they are building communities, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, one thing is obviously what everyone does is trying to keep people happy with just incentives that make zero sense and they don't bring value to project at all. Being like, I don't know, get in the community, like join this link you posted on Twitter. Uh, Say hi there, be active, whatever, and then you have a chance to get, and then they invest a lot of money and they put some insane price in it, which by the way, I'll say this completely openly, what a lot of projects do is they fake stuff. So they'll do it in a way. Um, let's give example of DGOD. Most people should know what DGODs are, right? It's probably the most famous NFT together with Solana Monkey Business on Solana. They are doing giveaway of one of them. If you just get into their community and you do various steps, you get roles there, whatever. They grew community to 100,000 in a week. It's insane. Everyone wants that. They just fake it out. They send it from one account to another. They show the transaction. They did actually send it, but they send it back to themselves. Sadly, this is what happens often. I know it for a fact. And then what happens is most of your community leaves. No, actually, no, not most. A lot of your community leaves, thousands, maybe tens of thousands. And you are left, let's say you grew community from 0 to 100K, and you are left with 50K. And then on paper, you think you did good marketing move. You lied to anyone, or even if you did give that DGAD out, doesn't matter. You got 50K people in, but you didn't really. You just have 50 people, 50K people in who were too lazy to leave the server. They muted that server. They forgot that server exists. They joined after you 30 other servers who are doing the same thing. Your server is at the bottom. They literally don't know you exist. Meaning you don't have 50,000 people, you have zero, you have one, two, three people that actually are doing something there. But you didn't do anything with it, right? So it looks on paper like a decent move on the long term. After it's not even a few weeks, after less than a week, when you're done with that giveaway or whatever you're doing, it's dead. So it has to be something that has long-term value. It has to be something, whatever you're doing with community, it has to be something that's attaching that community to you, and that gives the whole story sense, right? So the best way, if we are talking about straight up incentivization, if you want to reward someone in the community, best part is rewarding them with knowledge and actually having community that's willing to learn and improve, and getting them to a level where they can be doing whatever they want in crypto because of you, or because, like, at least uh because of something, you may be influenced in some way, maybe you helped in this way or another, and they managed to get a job. That's literally the best gift you can give to anyone in crypto. After that, if you are going fully materialistic, it should be merch from your project. It's something that, again, makes sense, and they want it because they like the project, or they like you, or they like the community. And yeah.
True,
uh
that's true. And I know such community, but I'm not going to say the name.
yeah, don't.
So moving on to our last question. One advice you would give to someone who's starting out or learning about community in the Web3 space?
Mm, is that one, go all in or go home, right? Like, space is moving too quickly,
Yeah,
and if you want to succeed, it's something that you have to live for. It's something you have to grind. way more than 8 hours a day. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but if you want to catch up, it has to be more than 8 hours a day if you are starting out. I mean, I've been in this for 1 year and three, almost 4 months, and I'm still working way more than 8 hours a day. It's way better than when I was starting out, and we do have a team, but it's me actively working from 10 till 12 hours on PC, and then still being available always on my phone, which my girlfriend will probably kill me one day for it. She hates it for a reason, but it's something that just becomes kind of natural, and you want to be helping out, and you are there not just for professional questions, you are there for personal issues as well. So I had people reaching out with issues regarding marriage, relationships, whatever. Important thing is not ignoring that because that's not your job. You know, I think empathy is one really strong point of a good community manager, and I think that's something that people really appreciate, and that's the reason why they are coming back to you, and in the same way they are getting back to the community, and you're forming some sort of bond that overcomes incentives. It overcomes you dropping random NFTs to them, random tokens. It's something that goes, and I actually think it evaluates into actual online friendship. And when you say like second family, I do mean it. Uh, it's just natural at this point. It's not work. It's being there for those people, and it really, if I can make them laugh or if I can help them in any way, where they need help, that's the only reason really that really makes me love what I do. It's not salary, like it's 100% not salary. It's, again, it's solid. I'm happy with it, but that's not the reason why I'm doing this, as you mentioned as well. It's that feeling of helping people out. That's one thing, and another one, which is on a selfish side, is self growth. I love getting better at what I do, being community manager, community lead, being on a business side. I love growing in Web3. So these two things is what's driving me forward.
So you love your work. I can say that because you
100%.
find value in it, you find growth in it, and it's not like your traditional job that you're punching in and you're just working and you're waiting for that's it, that's my time and I'm out. Like you said before, you're checking on the tags that come to your phone, even if you're spending some time outside your work. That is a sign of someone who's loving something that they're doing. Is that true? Like, am I
Exactly. For,
correct?
for for and for the first time in my life, like literally never before. And what you said, it's not like you looking at the watch and being like, oh, when is the four coming or whatever. Whenever you are finishing your everyday job, it's like having to actually socialize, and then being, oh wait, can I actually do something more work wise before I do that? It's
Right.
it's completely reversed, and it's weird, but it's because you're passionate about it. Exactly.
Love it.
100%.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So, on that note, we'll end it right here. And thank you so much for joining me today on this podcast. Thank you for providing value to all my viewers out there. And I'll drop your Twitter if that's okay with you in the description below, and as well as the website, Neon Labs website, link to the community, so you can be a part of Neon Labs community and see just how amazing it is. On that note, I think I'll end it right here. So thank you for joining us once again, and have a great day. Bye.
Thanks, thanks for having me, dude. Bye.
Bye.